Hey everyone, I am going to be doing a tutorial on Kahoot. This is a really cool Web 2.0 resource that I love using in my classroom. Um, I really think that this enhances learning because it allows you to really create things that your students have learned and to test them on things you have taught in class, and you can really cater it to what you yourself have taught to your students. And you can also use other Kahoots that other teachers have made from around the world um, in your classroom too. So I just really think that this keeps the students engaged, and it's a fun way for them to go over information or that they've already learned, or it's a fun way to introduce stuff, maybe just to kind of give them a quiz on, okay, what do you know about this topic? What do you not know about it? And then it kind of gives you a place to start as a teacher. Telling you what they know, what they need to know. It just kind of gives you some data about what your class knows and what you need to teach them about certain topics. So I am going to create a Kahoot based on the continents. This was something that my first graders studied recently in class. So I'm gonna. This is basically would be a cumulative quiz once the unit was over, just to kind of let me know what my class had learned, and it would just be a really fun and engaging way to review all of the content that I taught them over the course of our continent unit. So in Kahoot, there are three different types that you can make. I'm going to make a quiz today, and you're going to start off by creating a title for your quiz, and I'm just going to call mine continents. And then to start off, you will type in whatever you want your question to be. So I'm going to start off pretty simple. I'm just going to say, how many continents are there? And you have some options about what you want your font to look like. It can be bold, it can be italics, or you can just leave it how it is. You also can make each of your questions worth points. And the faster that the students answer the question, the more points that they get, which I think is really fun just because the students like earning points, and it really helps keep them engaged because they have to be fast and they have to be paying attention um, to get the questions right and to get more points. So I'm definitely going to keep this question worth points, and then you can also choose your time limit for how long you want to let them be able to talk about a question or think about it. I'm just going to leave mine at 30 seconds. The one of the limitations with Kahoot that I have in my classroom is that we do not have a one-to-one iPad ratio in my classroom. We only have 7 iPads for 18 students. So when using Kahoot, if I'm going to do it in a whole group setting, obviously they would have to work in small groups and come up with their answers together, which really helps out with cooperation and learning to work with each other, which is a big thing in first grade about not, being selfish and um, learning to be kind and listen to others' thoughts and opinions. Or you could do it in a small group setting, maybe during reading group time, and then that way students could have their own iPad if you had a chance to do it that way. But normally I do it whole group, and they just work in groups of 3 or so to answer the questions. So I've typed in my question, how many continents are there? And then down here at the bottom is where you will type in your choices for answers. It automatically gives you 4 choices. This button right here, you can take questions away or you can add them. The most choices that you can have are 4, and then be sure to mark the correct answer. Then once you do that, you can also add an image to this slide on the quiz just to make it a little more user-friendly and fun to look at and exciting. So I have already Googled some images. I just went to Google and typed in continents and Earth and saved some of the pictures to my desktop that I wanted to use. So I'm going to add one of those to this question, and then it will pop up. And then once you are done with that, down here at the bottom, you can add another question. So I'm going to add one more question. I probably won't add too many more just because that would be kind of repetitive. So this is definitely going to be a shorter quiz than what I would normally make in class, but you get the idea. So this question is, what is the largest continent? I'm going to keep the points and the time limit, and then I'm just going to type some choices down here at the bottom. And then I'm going to mark my correct answer. You do not have to add an image to the desktop. You can leave it blank. It is totally up to you. I think I might just do 3 choices for this one just to change it up a little bit. Once you are done, if you decide you don't want a question, you can delete it. You can keep adding questions. You can duplicate questions. But I'm just going to keep mine at 2 questions. I think depending on your audience, you really have to think about, okay, how long can they sit and do this? Obviously, first graders like to move around a lot, so I couldn't do a quiz with a ton of questions because they would start getting a little antsy because they don't have a very long attention span. So I'm going to keep mine to 2 questions just for this tutorial because you can kind of see so you can see what it looks like. You can always go back and you can edit the questions until you are totally done with it. So those are my 2 questions. Then you have some options that you can choose before you actually publish it. Your quiz can be public or private. I'm going to keep mine private just because this quiz isn't super fun. I don't think anyone's going to want to use it in their classroom. There's only 2 questions. But I really like how Kahoot allows teachers from all over the world to interact and to use each other's resources. I think that's a big part of teaching is borrowing from other people and offering your own ideas and not being selfish and keeping stuff to yourself. Not only because that's not really nice, but I mean it helps everyone become better teachers and helps us learn new things and helps us stretch and grow as educators if we can see what other people have done, and it can inspire us to do stuff on our own. Then you'll also choose the audience, so school, and then you can write a little description right here. I'm just going to write first grade continent quiz. And then the difficulty level you can choose. I'll choose beginner. Down here you can choose some tags. So if someone is searching for a quiz, yours will pop up that it has to do with whatever they are searching for. So I'm going to tag continents and first grade. And then I am going to save and continue. Here is where you can choose a cover image for your quiz. So I'm going to upload a cover image. And if you want to embed a video, you can. I'm not going to worry about embedding a video. And I am done. So now I can start playing my Kahoot in the classroom. So I'm going to click play now. You also have some options here about what you want your quiz to be like. I'm just going to leave them as they are, and I'm going to click launch. Then I would have my students log on to their iPads and to Kahoot.it, and they will enter the game pin that you see on their iPad. Obviously with first graders, it can get a little hairy having them type in things just because first graders have problems with simple stuff. So they'll be fighting over who's going to type it in, So that's just some things to think about, especially when every child does not have their own iPad. So I'm going to type in my code, and then I'm going to type in my nickname on my phone, and then all of the users will pop up. So I'm going to be the only player, and then I'm going to click Start Now. So here was my cover image that I uploaded, and here is the first question. So remember, the quicker that you answer it, the more points that you get. Here are the question, what is the largest continent? Here are my choices. On my phone, I don't see these words. All I see are the shapes to choose. Just as a personal preference, I kind of like being able to see the words on my phone, so I kind of wish I could see that. And for first graders, I don't know, I kind of like exposing them to those words as much as possible. So um, I would prefer it if the words showed up on their phone or iPad. So that's one thing I would change. But once they answer the question, you can see who got it right, how many people got it right. So it gives you immediate feedback, and if you see everyone gets a question wrong, then at that moment you can stop and you can reteach whatever that question was about to make sure that people really grasped the concept. Okay, question number 2, how many continents are there? I'm going to pretend like I don't know, and I'm going to pick the wrong answer. I picked 5, the answer is 7. So at this point, as a teacher, you would stop and you can review how many continents are there, different tricks or songs that you taught in class to remember them. So I just really like how this gives you immediate feedback, and you can change your instruction as you take the quiz to make sure that your kids are learning what you want them to learn. So there is my scoreboard. I have 700 points. I won because I was the only player. And then at the end, I really like how your students can rate the quiz. They can tell you if they liked it, if they learned something, how they felt about it. So it just kind of gives them a chance to critique, because I think part of school is not only critiquing others kindly, especially in first grade, but also being able to be critiqued. So eventually in first grade, I will start critiquing them. So this kind of introduces the idea of critiquing things about what they like or what they don't like. And then you can see your final results. So that is my tutorial about Kahoot. Thank you for watching.